UndercoverETuk on the live feed out in Wiltshire, trying to capture UFOs. And I thought today I'd do things a little bit different. I've been thinking about how I'm going to switch things up and try and analyse this from a scientific perspective. And you'll see that there's a stick in the air, and you're probably thinking, what the hell is he doing? Well, I'm trying. I'll explain in a minute what's going on. I'm just going to do the usual and sort the camera out first. Of course, it loves the houses. That's fine. Let's go up a bit. Just going to raise it up. Raise it up a notch. Okay. Let's see. Straighten her up. Is that my max zoom? I believe it is. So I'm just adjusting as best as I can. I want to put this thing back on here actually. I've been messing with the arm on this phone holder, trying to get it in a good place. I'll explain what I'm doing in a minute, but there is if anyone's wondering what the hell's going on, there is a stick. There is a stick, and that stick has a cigarette butt on the end of it. Right. And I guess what I'm trying to show, because I've told everyone in recent live feeds that I've got my window open, and if any bugs decide to go right past the camera's lens, like right next to the lens, then what will happen is they'll go splat on the window, right? So what I've done is I've set up the window as it normally is with the same shot that I normally get, and what's going to happen is, well, what I've done is I've put a stick on the end of the window, so the nearest point to the camera's lens that a bug could possibly be, and I've stuck a cigarette butt on the end. Okay, so the cigarette butt for me represents a fully grown sized wasp that you'd see in the UK. Alright, they don't go massive. I think I'm being generous there. They're probably a little bit smaller at the moment, but let's presume that a wasp flies past the window and it's well fed and it goes to the nearest point of the window. That's what it would look like in size. Now yesterday we caught some objects that looked around this size, flying extremely fast, and they looked like they had wings. So the plan today is to try and capture those same objects with this on the end of the window, so that we've got fair comparison. And if they do fly that close to the window and they're that big, I should hear them on the audio. I think I should hear the wings, and I will definitely see them with my eyes, right? So I didn't see that yesterday, so that means, in my opinion, what we captured yesterday was way out there, and they just looked bigger because they are bigger, just moving incredibly fast. That's my view. Let's see if they're out and about today, and we'll test this theory with the stick there. I was going to just do a video on it, but I thought, well, let's just do it live and see where we get to. Are you Rain Hunter? Oh, sorry, Rain Storm Hunter. I'm just having my first coffee. It's early. How are we doing? All right. So I realised I just explained all that, and you've only just sort of joined. see if I can just sort this out a little bit. So it's very early here. Oh, 7 a.m. for you? Wow. Yeah, it's quite early. It's 11 a.m. here in the UK. So I'm just making use of the daylight. There we go. I mean, you would, looking at the camera, you wouldn't think it was 11 a.m. It looks quite misty out there, but that's what it looks like. That's what it is. Yeah. Thank you. I will. So yeah, if you've just joined, you're probably wondering, why has he got a... Whoa, there's a fast mover. So why has he got a stick coming off his window with a cigarette butt attached to it? Well, if you take a cigarette butt off the main part of the cigarette and look at it, I think everyone will come to the same conclusion that it's roughly the same size as a wasp that you would see in the UK, you know. And at the moment, wasps are probably the average size thing you'd see in the air. There are obviously like moths and dragonflies, but they are really different to what we're seeing and capturing in yesterday's, in all the live feeds. So I figure, well, if I get a stick and I put a cigarette butt on the end of it and attach it to the end of my window, which is the closest point that the bugs can get to the camera, by the way, without coming into the flat itself. If they get that close, we should pick up audio as well, right? So a big bug flying that close, I'm sure if it's a wasp you'll hear me squeal anyway, because it'll be coming into the bloody flat. Bees are cool, I don't mind bees. We've captured a bee, but it didn't move at 2,000 miles an hour, so you know. I hope we capture some dragons today. I hope we get one that's not close to the window, but we get a similar size or something, you know, a bit smaller than that. This is the phone zoomed into the max, so exactly the same setup as yesterday, exactly the same zoom. My argument is these objects aren't close to the window, you know, they are zipping way out there, at least 100 to 200 yards away. So exactly, yeah, if they come up right past that cigarette butt of similar size and I don't hear an audio, then that's some kind of silent superbug, right? I'm not being funny. As soon as the wasps start coming out, and this is the only part I'm dreading about this whole scientific topic, like this whole scientific experiment, right? Is when it warms up. I hate wasps, and they come into this flat from this window like you wouldn't believe. It's like there's a nest up on the roof or something, and I hate it. But I will be filming. I'll be doing this on some days, and we're going to get them, and you're going to see me with my racket out. So because I hear them coming before they arrive. Do you know what I mean? I hear them coming. I really hate wasps. I've got a high sense of them. Like just ears are always listening. So like, for me, I'd know if a big fly was anywhere near this window. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm trying to debunk. I'm also trying to debunk my own footage here. You know, like if it happens and I'm like, blimey, there's a wasp by my window, and look at it, it's the same size as you know. It'd be an interesting watch anyway. You know, cards on the table. Cards on the table. I can't make this cigarette butt go 2,000 miles an hour And I didn't go down the road of gluing wings to it or anything, right? Because I had to hang it off a stick anyway to get it suspended. But I'm going to record for as long as I need to until I get a bloody dragon, a fat one, go past like yesterday, right? Because the footage I got from yesterday, I'm going to put it up probably later on. It's mental, like, it's so big and it looks like a bug. It's got like, even shows little antennae and potential little legs as well, like just vaguely, right? But this is like, is it the mimicry or is that an actual bug? Okay, and it wasn't jet white plasma. It was really like wing looking, but I've seen them produce that as well, so it's difficult. The thing is, Rain, with butterflies and moths, you'll see that they've got little bodies and big ass wings, and you'll be able to get the movement and the yeah. Thank you. We're just started. We're just starting. Honestly, I can't wait for all the ideas to flood in. I can't wait. But thank you very much. This is just one of mine. I just thought, well, how can I test this? I'm not going to sit here and just claim this stuff's real. I've got to test it, right? But I've asked the doc about a radio detector. I'm going to go all out because these are the same objects that he's seeing, and if he's getting radio hits, I want radio hits. As simple as that. It's mad, but someone's got to do it, right? Come on, babies. Better yet, come and land on it. Oh, they love me, Rain. They love me, honestly. It must be my blood or something. They're just on me. I'm not really like, I'm not really keen on destroying any kind of wildlife. But when they come in here, I'm either leaving the room or I'm having to get a newspaper out or something because those things they stink. They just go for me. But then bees and stuff, I'll happily hold. Like if a bee, like I've had a bee come up to the window a few times. One looked like it was struggling a little bit, and I gave it some sugar water, and I was holding it, no problem at all. But the wasps, no chance, no chance. They say there's positive and negative in everything, and that's it. The bees are good, and the wasps are not so good. That's just the way it is. And hornets are horrible things. If they've got a problem with you, you're done for. A couple of birds, I think. Whoa, whoa! Did you see that? That move was some purpose. That thing. That was swift, right? That was just like it went up into the air and then dipped down and zoom straight over that bird on the tree there. Bird's like, what the smeg's going on? It was a swoop, wasn't it? Swoop and a half, like just incredibly fast. And I get like some smaller birds can do that sort of movement, but for me that was, I don't know. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it out of my window. I tried to see it. I tried to look, but I couldn't see it. We're going to get to the bottom of this, Brain. Don't worry. We'll work this out. I went through about an hour of the live feed yesterday, and the hockey pucks we're capturing are just it's mental. It's mental out there, and they seem to be coming from behind those trees. They're just flying out, and then as they're coming back and retreating back to wherever they came from, we're just capturing them on the way back in. And sometimes, in my opinion, we're just getting a closer shot where they're like 100 yards away. You know, even maybe even a little bit closer than that. But I don't think they're at my window. You know, that's my argument. And well, I'll be gutted if one of these so-called UAP come past my window now and I see it with my own eyes and it goes right above my cigarette butt. I'll be gutted. You know, but I don't think one's actually gotten that close yet. Well, it's actually like, to be fair, there is a field beyond that house and those trees. There is an open field where people walk their dogs. So, yeah, that's the direction to film in, because behind me is a river and then the town centre. So it's not it's built up. Although I've captured them above the skies there as well. But this is just convenient because my computer is. I'm literally sat at my desk where I do all my recording. So. It's just easy for me to record and go live from here. Yeah, it's just perfect, to be honest. I always wondered if they were out there, and I never really did much recording of like myself. But I'm always at the window, you know. So one day, I think 2 weeks ago, I was looking out the window and I saw one zip past, but it was down by where I parked the car, and I was like, what? Did I just see a hockey puck? It just so happened it went right through where I was looking. It's the only way you would see one. So I started recording, and I straight away was getting them, you know, and I was like, no way. And then I thought what everyone else thinks, you know, they're watching me, you know, but that lasted all of 5 seconds because I know everyone can capture these things. So I was like, okay, they're here. Why are they here? What's their operation times? And I've worked it out. Like, I've worked out that although I think we've seen 1 or 2 since I've started, the real action happens at around between 12 and between 12 and 4. That's when we start seeing a lot. So what is that? What was that? Man, right, I've got to have my eyes just on the window for a minute. I'm looking at the chat, and because it's so much easier to analyse this stuff on a big screen, look, there was another one just gone straight behind that tree, right? That tree is 400 yards away from this window, approximately. I mean, I'm a fisherman, right? Carp fisherman. I know I can cast my maximum cast with my rod is about 130. Well, it is 132 yards. I wrapped it up at 132 yards, so I know my distances quite well. And I'm telling you, that tree is about 400 yards away, and it's got objects zipping from behind it coming up into the air. Nice one, Just. Yeah, they're coming from behind the house and behind that tree there. So basically, the field beyond that, and like I could walk there. It'd take me 10 minutes, not even, between probably about 6 minutes, 7 minutes to walk there. You know, 400 yards is about a quarter. Is that about a quarter of a mile? 400. I don't know. 400 yards. It's got to be close, isn't it? Maybe not as much as a quarter of a mile, but to walk there take me about 5 minutes to walk to the field just beyond them trees. Yeah, I mean, maybe they want to be on YouTube, you know. I think maybe they're like, look, we're just, if the remote viewers are right, they want us to call them out and call them down and show themselves, and that's kind of what we're doing here, effectively recording them and saying, show yourself. Like we want to see him, and we want a comparison against this cigarette butt if we can. How are we doing, Cortez? Oh, there you go. That was one. Was that one that went past? I see it on the screen. Fast again. Again, not near the lens. You know, it wasn't near the lens because it's just not. It's, you know, what I've got here, guys, if you've just tuned in, is a cigarette butt attached to a stick, which is attached to the edge of my window. Okay, so like I've been saying for the last few days, any bugs that go past the lens would hit the window. Okay, because my phone is situated within my flat on the windowsill. So what I've done is I've max zoomed. I've got the shot that I always get, which is this building, the roof ledges, the tree line as normal. The cigarette butt represents a large wasp. Okay, so if anything flies past the window like a wasp, we'll get a fair comparison of that. But if a UAP comes out from behind these buildings or decides to fly past and I can't see them in front of the window, and they come out as big as this cigarette butt or similar size, then we'll have some science there as well. We'll have some actual something to measure against. And yeah, the only thing this could do is help us sort of get a good size on these things. If we can get the distance, you know, if I could work out the distance that those things were flying at yesterday, the ones that were really close to the camera, it'd give us an idea of the size, right? Based on this cigarette butt. This is B&H, sky blue, with a stick in it. So yeah, not. I mean, rangefinder on an object. What on these objects? Apart from getting the ones at the back there by the tree, and having I've got a good idea of how far away they are because I can see them. I mean, the tree line there, yeah. That's. I mean, that's why I know I can't debunk the videos. I know I can't. I always try to. I just can't. I can't debunk these ones because of that. You know, you can question the objects that are in brackets closer to the camera because anything sort of this side of the tree line is closer to the camera. But like I say, that's 400 yards, a good 300-400 yards away. So that's a lot of distance to cover, isn't it? So yeah. So we've got the cigarette butt, which represents the closest point to the camera that an object could get to. You know, and hopefully that will help us. You know, the only other thing I could do is go knock on matey's house over there, and say, can you get a camera and record from that bedroom window and point it right at mine, please? Do you know what I mean? And then we'll see what he captures, you know. I think he'd probably just start putting in the complaints and be like, you know, what are you doing recording my home? What are you saying? There's UFOs there. Go away. You know, I'll be like, well, you're situated right next to a UFO hotspot right there. I mean, I'm not sure he'd like to hear that. But you know what? That field is public. We can access it. We can go there. We can film as much as we like. So that might even be an idea for a UAP hunt. The first one with the members. Exactly. And could you imagine if we proved that these things were UAP and we measured them? Like I'm waiting for information on a radio detector, because once I've got that, and if I'm getting radio hits, I can then prove using simple methods that these things aren't bugs, or at least they're part mechanical. And then once we get to that stage, you know, I don't think this guy or these people living in this house would appreciate like people just rushing to the area, you know. Like, I think they would just like, imagine if we're out there, a group of 8-10 people, all out there with UndercoverETuk tucks on, filming, and we're capturing stuff and we're scientifically measuring this stuff. We're going to get a crowd. We're going to get dog walkers stopping, going, "What are you doing?" And we're going to explain it. They're going to watch, and next thing you know, these people will have loads of people filming outside their house every day. So, got to try and be a little bit more tactful. Alien duck calls. Yeah. Look, I've already got channels thinking I've lost my mind. Just. Do you know what I mean? This is just another method. They're probably like, this guy's lost it. He's lost it. Too much coffee. Way too much coffee. Too many beans. He's had too many beans. Look, it is what it is. Someone's got to do it, right, and look like the twat. That's fine. It's mental, isn't it? And you know what? I'll be the first to put my hands up and say, I have been the most sceptical twit of them all, because it took me a good few years before, you know, I gave people a hard time about seeing faces and all that, and I still do, because sometimes people just see stuff and I'm like, nah, mate, that's, you know, it's a raindrop. It's, you know, I've had some people come up with some really good stuff and then come up with some real crap, you know. And so I'm still like, I get why I used to be the way I did, because skepticism is built on just rubbish evidence. Like, it is, isn't it? People just like that, you know, you're just off your trolley, mate. But once you realise that something is real and you know how to measure it, it becomes then the case of just proving it, you know. And I think we've got the tools to do that. What the hell was that? Anyone see a white flicker heading directly for me right there in the bottom? What the hell is that blinky going on there? It's still kind of there. Well, I don't, like I say, I don't think we're attracting them in a very good way at all by when they're seen with nukes. But honestly, like, for them, it's like just they will tag and recon everything in the sky, but if it's a nuclear weapon, it will just get disabled probably before it even leaves. You know, they can do it easily. They could completely take over and flatten this planet in a day. They probably wouldn't even need to cause destruction. They just terraform the atmosphere and it would do it. You know, they've got that sort of technology, I believe. Look, judging from what I can see, they could probably control a comet and whoosh it over the ocean and just create a tsunami if they wanted to take out a country. They could do that without destroying the planet. So yeah. And instead these ones, at least the ones that we're recording, are choosing to document our way of life. But they're also reconning. I think they're just looking for something as well. But I think in the time that they're not looking for something, they are documenting. I don't know why. But look, I mean, that was fast. I've ended up doing the same thing now. Researching and documenting. Mad, isn't it? We're both at the same point already. Them and us. Obviously they know a lot more and have a lot more technology, but ultimately they're documenting and so are we. It's interesting, eh? Come on, UAP. So by rights, okay, nothing's going to show up as big as this cigarette butt which is attached to my window, which will be the closest point to the camera. Okay, so if anything does show up that's anywhere near that size, it would have to be near the window, right? And that's what I'm going to try and look out for. So if there are any bugs that do zip past, and it's not as sunny today as it was yesterday, so we've got less bugs, but we still have that. I mean, what the hell? What was that just then? Did that just pop out from the bush and just casually like? And if that is a bug acting like a bug, why are we seeing that so clearly from 400 yards away? I know I'm zoomed in, but it's only a ×4 zoom, you know, on an old Samsung J6, so it's not. I've not got an amazing zoom. Like you can see, even though I'm zoomed in, you can still see like the cigarette butt quite well, with like the size of it and. Morning, Malcolm. Yeah, bit of cloud in the UK today. That's all good. We're still seeing these though, right? You know, we're still seeing these black objects against the white cloud because they're so low to they're not high up in the air, mate. So yeah, we don't need a blue sky. We just, if anything, this is all right. We're getting some white zippies at the bottom of the screen there. Or is it starting to rain? Is that rain? Do you know what? I can't see nothing. I can see the white flickering. You see in front of the house? But is that, I can't tell if that's rain because it's not raining where I am. But like I say, that where that house is a good 300 yards away, and it might be raining there or starting to. So let's see. And here's the next thing. If there were bugs that were 2, 3, 400 yards away, would we capture them or any detail on them? You know, because we know how big and small bugs are. So that's the next question. Like, scientists would need to measure somewhere, or someone needs to measure. You know, put some honey on a wall, wait for a bug to turn up, and then record it from a certain distance away. Measure how far away your camera is, so you know how far, you know, what a bug looks like fully zoomed in on a camera. I mean, what the hell was that then? Just popped up and zipped off. But yeah, I think that's what we're going to have to do, something like that. Just so we've got a fly on a wall somewhere, and then just, you know, 100 yards away, record and see if we actually can see the little blighter from 100 yards away. But I can tell you now, because I've been a fisherman for, like I say, for years. I've recorded so many like lake scenes and recorded fish being captured and all that. And I don't know. I was just looking. I don't know. It's very fast, wasn't it? I think it's starting to rain now. At least like where that building is. It's not raining at my window. I've got no raindrops on my window, so. Yeah, potentially. And it's funny we mentioned the robot thing, just because. Is it Sean? Not, what's his name? Something Michael show. Something Michael show. I can't remember his full name now. It's terrible. But he did a podcast last night and was. They were talking about grey ETs actually being robotic. And if you watched Karen's interview that I actually published last night as well, she mentions how this being presented themselves to her as a robot, and she asked for their true form, like, and it presented as a robot. So it's just interesting that those we both did, like, he did a podcast and I did an interview, and we both posted last night, and we both came up with the same thing. Basically, it's mad. I think so, Zen. It rings a bell, mate. I'm looking at so many different clips every day, but I think so. What date did you send it, bud? Okay, we're getting tiny droplets of rain on my window now, so it is starting to rain a little bit, which is fine, because the camera's inside. Haven't got to do a thing, just record. It does, yeah. The orbs and the hockey pucks, these fast movers, they're definitely more prevalent. Like, you see them everywhere, but they're also escorters, so they'll escort other sources and craft, and they're always seen around these other craft. Always. That's how I validate UFO footage in my, like, for me. Jesse Michaels, that's the one. Yeah. Just double check my emails now, buddy. What's your email address? I don't recall the YouTube name. have to. On the YT post. Crikey. I think I remember it. It was about 4 or 5 days ago, right? There's been a lot going on since then, man, so I'll have to go back over and it'll have to trigger my memory on it. I definitely clicked on it. I've just seen mate, I've had so many late nights. I was talking to Josh last night, the moderator for Angry Astronaut, and he knows that I've just been up. I've been up late for days, and yesterday I was like, yeah, I'm going to get an early night, and then we was talking at midnight. Do you know what I mean? Just didn't happen. Yeah, well, the thing is, the people that could help don't want to know because they think this is all BS, right? And I mean, we've already got the evidence to prove these things are real, and they still don't want to know. So I know I'm doing a scientific experiment now, and I can prove, if people are interested and want to know, I can prove probably on my own that these things are real, and they still won't want to know. Because they'd much rather show stuff that's really entertaining and let the wonder of whether these things are real or not go through. So they pick up views, and it's like the clickbait was happening last night as well. Again, I'm not mentioning channels, but it happened last night as well. I won't mention the name, you'll probably know once I start talking about it. But the headline was something like top 10 UFO videos that researchers must use, or for researchers or something. And then he started the video by saying, look, CGI, AI, and I just don't care. So what he's done is he's created a title and a thumbnail that has enticed people in, and then he started the video off by saying, these could be real or fake, I just don't know and I don't care, it's Sunday. You know, and he did like 37k views in the first 6 hours. And that's what he knows works and what's going to pay the bills, right? And if he moves on to this, it's not going to pay the bills. You know, and it doesn't, because I'm earning about 200 a month, and next month I'm going to have to consider getting a part-time job just to start surviving. And I'm the only, me and a few others are actually doing the real research, you know? It's just the way it is. It's, you know, I jumped into this thinking they'd probably get a bit more support, but they've just backed away. They don't want to know. And that's why I get frustrated, because they literally do not want to know. And yet advocate for disclosure and want to know the truth and all that stuff. So, oh, no problem. Don't be sorry. We can do it together if we want. I mean, you guys, honestly, like, so far, I've got 2.8 subs, 2.8k subs. There's probably about 600-700 of you guys that are consistently watching and backing me and all that. So we've started something, you know, and it can only go one way if we keep going, but it does mean being a little bit proactive. And like I said, I've been as proactive as I can. And I hope more people join in. That's my hope, because if I don't get the support, this is it. It just becomes videos with my research, and but I don't think that's going to happen. Like, I've got enough good people already in my Facebook group, in my Discord. I've got my pharmacist over in America. You know, I've got some good people already that are fighting the fight with me. So, and I'm fighting the fight with them, and that's it. You know, we're going to do this I'm not a scientist, but I can use scientific methods and be very real about what we're seeing. And I'm not here to just sell BS. If I wanted to get the views, you would see a lot more BS from me, and it's not what I'm about. Yeah, fair play to you, Zen, as well. Like some people are just curious, you know, and they don't accept that there's something else out there and that people aren't talking about it, and that's fine. It just means you've got a backbone. It means that you want to know. It means that you don't accept the lies. You know, you don't look at this. Just as I'm talking, these things are zipping around. Yeah. I mean, it's not. I know this isn't the most exciting thing, but once you realise these things are real, it becomes very exciting to everyone that's recording, right? Like everyone, once they start capturing these things, as far as I'm concerned, they start sending in loads and loads and loads, and you know, it becomes like an oh shit moment, you know, for the reality that you're living in. And oh yeah, just for me. I'm a bit disappointed that it's raining though, because we're not going to get the amount of bugs that I want to see. To get comparisons, but we're getting UAPs, which is great. We're getting these fast movers moving about in the rain, which is great. But we're not getting any bugs. Oh, oi, oi! What was that? That looked like a Stephen Henchcliffe capture. You know, like the mimicking of a dragonfly. Which, by the way, we don't get many dragonflies right now in the UK. Well, it's raining. The birds are still out there. The the bugs have just dissipated. Okay, there's no more bugs. But we are still getting UAP. For anyone that's just tuned in, I have a stick attached to the closest point that of the lens that any object could get to. Okay, so it's attached to the end of my window, and attached to the end of the stick is a cigarette butt. Benson and Hedges Sky Blue, for those that are wondering, and it's just a normal cigarette butt, and it kind of represents, from in my opinion, if you was to hold a cigarette butt in your hand, it's about as big as a wasp would get. Okay, which is what I'm taking as the average size fly in the UK at the moment. There's lots of small ones, a few around the size of a wasp, and so I'm being a little bit generous. Actually, it's probably a bit larger than, which is on the end of my window. If anything was to fly past, like this side of that cigarette butt, it would hit the window. Okay, especially if it's going really fast, it wouldn't be good for the bug. So the test that we're doing, I guess, is we're trying to capture UAP, and we caught some real big ones yesterday. We're trying to determine their size. I mean, look at that fast mover. What's that? That's not a bug, right? Honestly, Zen, I think we're doing CE5 right now, buddy. Like, I'm not meditating, but my intent is to capture a UAP and for them to show themselves, and they are. And some would say, well, that's materialization. You know, but I'm not claiming psionics, because this has been going on now for 7 or 8 years. People just filmed and captured unknowingly, you know. I'm not going to go down the road of I thought about it, closed my eyes, meditated, and out popped an orb 25 miles away from me, but I could see it. I did it. I'm not going down that road. Again, not mentioning any names. There you go. Trek in. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, no one talks about them because they're so far fetched and so like close to the truth. you either can't see what's going on, and you don't believe it, or you do. Psionics has been about for decades, yeah, it has. But people that claim that they can use psionics because they've seen something is not necessarily fact. You know? I've not sat here and meditated, but we're capturing UAP. Doc's captured an orb. He was doing a running commentary when that orb captured, like it went through his camera. But he wasn't using psionics. He was using 4K cameras and a radio detector. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, this is what I'm saying. It's not a, by and large, fully tested method. Look, remote viewers apparently have been able to get themselves in a state of mind where they can do this sort of thing. This is what we're going to try and learn. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying that it's just... Why is the rain going sideways here? It's probably just dropping fast, right? I mean, honestly, to me, it doesn't even look like it's raining. There's no rain on the window anymore. I thought it was, but there isn't. Oh, okay, the floor is a little bit wet. Okay, we have got a little bit. Okay, there is. It's just really fine. I just couldn't see it. It's very fine rain, so that's fine. It just means there are no bugs out that I can... We might get the odd one that... No, you don't. You just got to have a deep thought, and that's what I'm saying. I'm intently wanting to capture these things. Yesterday I asked for larger captures and I got them, like almost instantly. So is there something in it? I don't know. Now I'm here with a bloody stick and a cigarette butt hanging off my window, because I got the larger captures, and now I want to test the theory and see if we can get any bugs that can come up to the window and give me a comparison at least. And we've already had a few UAPs it passed, so cool. Well, hopefully in the near future we will be doing a live remote view as well, or at least, yeah, a live remote view. I'll get Karen and a friend of ours to join the Discord. We'll go live on all our cameras and I will put it live on the channel. If I can be there, I will. But it's really just down to transport and stuff in that moment. I don't know when we're going to do it yet, but when we do it, it will be a live remote view. And it won't just be like, do a remote view and tell us about it. It's not going to be like that. So I'm going to give them a target, so it will be a targeted remote view, but I'm only going to give them numbers. I'm not going to tell them anything about the place. Okay, it's going to be a place that I know, and I'm not going to give them any clues. It will just be a random generated number. My thoughts will be infused into those numbers. I will hand the numbers to the ladies. They will do their work, and I will see if they can get to where I've asked them to go. Okay. And then we may take an idea from the public as well, privately, so that we can give them somewhere to go. Yeah, I mean, that's the only way we can really test it, right? Is if we get two people going somewhere that only I would know or only someone else would know. And the thing is, I can show you images of the place that they're going to take us to, hopefully, but it's still there, So. But they would have to. It's not anywhere famous. It's only something that I would know, and I could pull up the image on using the internet, no problem. But it's not somewhere that anyone would know, unless they've been there. Well, it's an interesting thing, you know, because we give names for all these different types of craft, right? But ultimately, I think we're talking about things that can shape and change to almost anything. So it kind of just throws all of that out into a new, you know, it pushes all that back and opens up a whole new door of questions. So these are the things we first need to prove before we start delving into I think different objects. We need to prove the capabilities, and then from there we need to establish when we're capturing these things when they're not using certain capabilities. That's the only way. There's been plenty of the skyfish recorded, but if it wants to look like a skyfish in that moment, it's going to look like a skyfish, or what we perceive or call a skyfish, you know. Let's be honest, it looks weird, so it's just the name we've given it for the weird object that we see. I don't know, like Karen, the person I interviewed, she recorded last week a hockey puck UAP or a saucer, it's one of the two, moving really fast past their camera, and in 2 frames it's gone from a black object to a pure white object. You know? So it changed like form, colour, everything in a split second. Like didn't even take a second, it was like a split moment in existence. It just you know? I mean, if they're man-made, it just means that man have got some amazing stuff, and it's not being shared. So all the more reason for doing it. You know, if anything, we should go in a bit harder. But if we're dealing with ETs or interdimensional beings, then we probably should go in, but go in carefully, and not be aggressive with what we're finding. Try and communicate even. If it's man-made, then we need to look at corporations, high contractors, government contracts, all that stuff, because that's the only way these things would be developed, likely. Speed of light, yeah, mana manipulation, yeah. I mean, speed of light, you're talking 800,000 miles an hour or something stupid. It's a ridiculous speed. You know, these things apparently, according to Arrow, the resolution office for UAP, basically, that they say between 0 and Mark 10 or something, or Mark 8, which is essentially like the speed of light, you know. But these objects tend to go to around the 2,000 mile an hour mark, which is the only reason why we can capture them on camera. If they start going like really fast, we're just not going to see them, you know. If you've got Trump Tower, which is a big tower, right? Now take away all the velocity and forces that tower would produce if it rushed past at the speed I'm going to suggest, okay? But if it rushed past you at 30,000 miles an hour, you wouldn't see Trump Tower go past you. Probably nearer 50,000 mile an hour. You wouldn't really see it go past you. It would be a blink, right? Now, if it really went past you, the forces of that thing would destroy you, okay? Which is why they travel as tiny objects, because they want to get around, but they want to get around without taking down all the houses, you know, by whooshing past all the houses really fast and creating that force. Now, for anyone that's like, well, do they really show that force? Do they show velocity? Yeah, they do. They've been past Ben's camera in Cornwall and actually pushed the camera and moved it, and you heard them on the approach before they got there, and when they was in front of the camera moved, because just of the sheer velocity that they're going at. John at Latchkey Hustle last night, check out his video. Drone up in the sky, Dragon UAP zips right past the drone, and you see the drone wobble because it felt the velocity in which the drone was travelling at. So this is measurable. We're starting to build the evidence for velocity now. but it's ridiculous. Yeah, a big object could travel right past you, and if it finds the right speed, you won't see it. But if it's small, you won't feel it either, unless it gets incredibly close to you. So yeah, that's my view, guys. That's based on the research we've done. They do indeed. They do indeed snoop on everything. They do, yeah. So the fastest recorded bird, okay, that swoops is approximately 200 miles an hour. In the UK as well. So I'm talking UK birds. 200 miles an hour diving. It's impressive. It's impressive for a bird. But I tell you what, that bird wouldn't go 200 miles an hour diving without breaking that. Like, it probably wouldn't do that and aim for the ocean. You know. So what we've captured is these objects going incredibly fast and diving straight into the ocean, which would be bad news, I think, for any diving birds. I mean, they dive fast, but they wouldn't want to be diving in excess of like 1,000 miles an hour. Yeah, yeah. Peregrine falcon. Did you Google it? What does it say on Google? I bet it's around a 200 mark. Yes, it was. It was Dr. Robert Scheidt. But here's the thing, okay? They've let slip by showing in documentaries of these objects being measured by scientists, but they never open source that information. So Dr. Robert Scheidt was the first one to open source it, but definitely people knew about these things and kept quiet before that. Yeah. So. Okay, so you know your stuff on birds anyways then. And you're here, you know. Because you know your stuff on birds, you're here, this topic's gripped you because you critically know how to measure stuff. You're a bird watcher. You've seen it all, you know? Now you're a exactly. Now you're a UFO watching guy. Yeah. Amazing, eh? But that's just the natural step because you're filming the skies and you're capturing everything that's up there. It's brilliant. It's what we want. But what we need members like you guys that can critically think, are willing to do something about it, and are willing to pursue it. Basically, it's not something that I would get into if you're only going to do it for a week. It's something that if you're going to get into it, you've got to go. Not all in, like, you know, everyone's got lives and that, but like, yeah, you've got to know what you're looking at and be really critical, and they're the people we need to wake the world up. It's not. There can be no ifs and buts once we know. Hello, Mr. Prosser. How are you? So we're just trying a little bit for science today. For those that have just started watching, and we're filming the same shot, but I've stuck a stick with a cigarette butt attached to the window. Okay, so I took the cigarette butt as a sign of, well, it's probably the closest thing I've got to what a wasp would look like. Okay, and that part of the window there is as close as what an object could get to my lens. Okay, because the camera's situated indoors and I'm just zoomed in. So if any objects go past the window, closest point to the lens, I would like to just get an idea of how they look against a cigarette butt, which in my opinion is roughly the size of a wasp. You know, a well-fed wasp, I would have to say. I've probably been generous with the size there, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close. Yes, it is the rain. It is the rain. Yeah. It's only fine rain, so it's not even heavy, but I think it's enough to keep most of the bugs at bay. So you can see we've got a few birds still, and we've had a few UAP really moving fast as well, even with the rain, which is good. You thought that was a street light? Ah, brilliant! No, mate, it's a stick stuck on my window with a cigarette butt attached. For science, my man, for science. Tobacco wasp, yeah. Love it, mate, love it. Well, if you looked at the video yesterday, if anyone was on the live feed and captured any of those really large close-ups we got, I mean, they scarily look like bugs. You know, the mimicry these things can do is amazing. So I'm trying to work out, I mean, in my opinion, I thought those objects were about 100 to 200 yards away. But of course, people would say, no, they're just close to the lens. Well, I figure if I put this as close to the lens as I can, without an object flying through into my window and being in my flat, then yeah, and it's quite easy for me to demonstrate this. I can just take a picture of it now set up, and in fact I will. I'll take a picture of this set up if I can, so that I can just sort of at least show you guys later on what this setup is. I think that's sensible. I'm going to have to do it with my binocs, so it's not going to be the best picture, but it's a picture nonetheless. I'll have to get it. I'll have to pull out another phone or something, which I'm going to have to charge. But that's alright. I can get the shot anytime. I could have made a blue tap model of a bug, mate. I could have stuck wings on this cigarette butt, couldn't I? But I've got the size of the body. That's really what I wanted. My burner phone. You joker. I'm trying to find my. I've got one with a smashed screen here. Just trying to fire that up. Got wires coming out my ears here. Perfect, so yeah. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. Yeah, that's for a full system, is it? I'm going to get the info from Doc. I've emailed and asked. I didn't call him, so I think he was busy. And right now he's probably just waking up, ready to put a video up. So I'll give him some time. Hopefully we can try and figure out where to get one and how to set one up. And I'm sure there'll be an easier way of. We just want a simple radio bleep. Something that we know works, you know, so that's the plan. I don't think we're going to get too much interference and stuff if we use the right equipment here, but I don't know how it all works. Yeah, helium balloon on a string, yeah. Said that the other day, actually. Could be done, could be done. What's going on, Ben? Good of you to join us, mate. Not very nice up here for weather-wise. I'm not sure what it's like down in Cornwall at the moment. We have had a few UAP already, despite the rain. We're still seeing the odd fast mover, and we're now coming up to what I call peak time. So let's see. Okay, it's nice until they get the lawnmower out, mate, and start lawnmowering. It's got to be done now, hasn't it? Yes, I think he did. Yeah. I'm hoping he's going to give me a more comprehensive rundown of what equipment I need to look at. We'll see. Be right back. Just got to sign for something at the door. Wow, we need to get a close up now. Come on, UAP. I don't want to be filming till 5 today. I want to be trying to get a video out for this evening, but at the same time, this research is important. Let's see if we can't get a comparison, a fair comparison against my cigarette butt end. Honestly, like the object that I had yesterday, just slightly smaller than this cigarette butt. That's why I was like, what the hell? Because I didn't see an object that big. I didn't hear an object that big, that close to the window. And it was really quick. So I'd love for that to happen again with this in place. Yeah, I would be as well, Trek. I would have a couple of cameras set up, a couple of people with me, and I'd have one camera going right across the rocks, facing ground height, because I'll try and figure out where these things are coming out from. And then I'll obviously have one in the sky as well, collaborating with the ones that I've got in my building above, so that you've kind of got a few angles going on. Cheers, Just. It'd be interesting to know where they, where they hide up, where they're holding up. I feel like they are travelling through the ground as well. So if they can travel through the earth, then of course they can travel through the ocean. So what have they seen on the Skinwalker Ranch then? They've seen these objects travelling through a mesa, right? Through a big mountain, essentially. Same thing. Yesterday we also had an X-ray come off the corner of that building at the bottom right hand side. Object went behind it and we saw the X-ray come through. Really, really cool. It's funny you say that. It's funny you say they don't go through people. I was watching something the other night, a couple of nights ago, and a guy was in India, and he his ears cleaned, funnily enough, by one of these street guys. He was just offering to clean his ear. And he was like, yeah, go for it. And he had some courage, but he let this guy put some tools into his ear and clean out his wax and everything. And when he was done, I saw an object fly right past the lens. It looked like it was closer to him than the lens, and it went straight through his arm. You didn't see it come out the other side, you just see something fly past him and into his arm, and then it just disappeared. You didn't see it come out the other side or leave the screen, nothing. And I haven't shown it yet, but I did look at it, and it's not like a massive object, it's only a small object, you know, but it looks like it hits him in the arm and just vanishes. Really strange. Hiya Tony, how you doing, bud? So for anyone that's watching, attached to a stick which is attached to my window. Yeah, I've seen it. The whole going through people thing. Definitely a thing. You know, our body definitely emits and receives frequencies and vibrations and stuff, and I think this is all to do with that. It's all connected. Yeah, brilliant, mate. That's brilliant. That made me chuckle. Through one ear and out the other. That would be a sight. Mind you, Ben's already thrown a frisbee into the sky and had a UAP go through it more than once. Do you know what I mean? How can you do that? How could anything do that intelligent? You could throw a frisbee into the air 50 times and you wouldn't get a single bug aim for it and go through it. Is it? Do you know what, mate? Oh, what's that? It's a bit fast. Yeah, 3 times in total, Zen. 3 times. It's just madness, isn't it? It's mad. Well, go get it then, Jay. What are you waiting for, buddy? Dog's like, while you're there, get me a blueberry muffin. Good stuff. How's the website coming along? What you've been sending me, Ben? Alright, mate, I'm downloading the file now. file is downloaded. Having a look. Oh, shut up, Ben. Shut up, mate. Let me have a look at this again. Are you having a laugh? Shut up. Ben, are you kidding me? Right now. Are you kidding me right now? I'm crying with laughter here. You're gonna send the scientist. You have sent me absolutely potty here. But the ones that don't believe, you're gonna, mate, what the hell? Oh my God. Are you kidding me right now? Right. I'm just going to upload this on YouTube and give it a good look, because you just, hang on a minute, let me have a good look before I confirm anything. Mate, I know what I'm seeing. Okay, you might as well just say number 4. 4 times. You might, you know. That's just funny, mate. Ah. Oh dear. Was that masking tape? Are you kidding me? You made the hole smaller. Oh my God. That's flipping mental, man. Right. I've uploaded it. I'm gonna just have a look at this on the YouTube player so that I can. Oh my God. Right, moment of truth. Mate. What's the actual flip? It's gone straight through the middle of it, man. And it's come from like the other side of the screen as well. It's mate, it's full mate, oh my God. What? You're joking me, dude. You know what you've done here, don't you? Because you've thrown the tape into the air, right? And then as the tape is going up into the air, this thing rises with it, and then it goes higher than the tape, dips down, and you can see the purpose movement because it dips down and goes straight to the middle of this tape, mate. Like, it's just madness, man. That's just madness, mate. Number 4, it's just better than the first 3. Like, you know? You can make it the challenge, right? Everyone just get frisbees and rolls of tape out and start launching them. And you never know, you know? But you're not going to get a bug intelligently do what I just saw. That's just flipping mental. What did I just witness there on the live? It does, yeah. It does it on the highest point. And that object's just come in from behind that building, and that movement was just crazy. Yeah, mate, that's flipping mad. And that's the thing, the skeptic simply cannot turn around and go, nah, that's a bug. It just can't be. Not 4 times, mate. Not 4 times. And not, you're changing the hole is now smaller, man. It's small. Like, it just cannot be. It cannot be right. I'm just going to send it on to the ones that will be flabbergasted, because they've just got to see that shit. It's done. Rain, I thought you'd gone. I'll tell you what, Ben. That's mad. That's mad. And you know what? We're in March. We're only in March. We've got so much to do yet. Oi, oi. What was that? I think that was a bird. But there was a very small object just then that wasn't a bird. Ben, that's flipping mad, mate. I've got so much I've got to show on the channel. So much. It's just stacking up. It's just stacking up, guys. But I think I'll keep this going another half hour. Half hour to an hour. See if we can capture something that I can measure against this. But I say there's just nothing flying right by the window, and if there is, we would definitely hear it. Whoa, that was quick, man. Whatever that was. See that on the bottom of the screen? Oh, was it a bird? Might have been a bird. Just stupidly quick though. Anyway. Couldn't tell, it's too dark. Cheers, Ben. Mate, what was that? That's not bug action right there. That's what's going on, Ghost? I'm just reviewing sightings that are happening right now in the moment. We've got a cigarette butt attached to a stick which is stuck to the end of my window, by the way, so this is the closest point that an object can be seen close, like closest point to my lens that an object could possibly fly past without coming into the window. So I've put it there for science, really, just to see if we can get any kind of measurement on these objects that do come close to the lens. We had objects around this size yesterday that were mimicking flies or were flies. So I'm just trying to really debunk that, or determine whether they're, you know, further away but we're getting the same sort of sized objects. Normally I'd be able to just see and hear an object really close to my window that big. A fly that big, as big as this cigarette butt with wings, you would hear. I mean, I'm sat within a metre of the window at my desk, so, and I normally freak out when wasps try and come in. They come in quite often. I'm even feeling a little bit uncomfortable leaving my window open this wide because they do come in often, these bloody things. But I never have my phone on record on max zoom, which is only a ×4 zoom on this phone. So this is what it looks like. You know, this is what we record all the time. This is the shot, and hopefully, like I say, they show themselves in that large format again, whatever it was, and we get to measure it against our cigarette butt, which is just a standard, ordinary cigarette butt. It's not a small one, or, you know, a slim or whatever. It's just a normal sized Benson and Hedges cigarette butt. Another object there just sipped out from the tree, really fast, really too fast. Birds looking all right there, coming right into view. Say hello. So that, for those that have just tuned in, that far tree is about 350 to 400 yards away from this window. So it's not close by any standards, that tree, but the cigarette butt is close. So you can see the cigarette butt's a little bit out of focus there because we've actually got the camera focused in on the building, which is, like I say, several hundred yards away. And we are getting UAP coming from a field which is situated behind these trees, it would seem, and they are getting close to the lens on occasion. So this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to determine really how big these things are and where they're coming from. So this is step one for me. Yeah, the only thing that I've got to try and be wary of is that we've got residents down there, and like I said, I'm filming 400 yards approximately. That's what you can see. So there's quite a lot between me and what we're seeing, and I don't want people to think I'm leaning out my window with a camera and a laser pointer looking into people's homes. So that's why I've chosen to put the camera back a bit so that people can't really see the camera, and that I'm just filming sort of mainly the sky and the tree line. Oh, we've got objects. What have we got? Hi, Susu. What have we got? Just going back because it moves so darn fast. Ah, that's the same object I just saw. What? Wow. That's moving, man. That is moving. I mean, I honestly thought that was a bird. Now I'm like, shit, that's not. That's different to a puck as well, a little bit. I mean, that's moving. If I slow it down, I'll know, because it shouldn't zip through like. If it's a bird, it shouldn't zip through. Oh, it does still, man. The birds always sound happy out there. They do. I think these things know what I'm trying to do. Just got a feeling that they know I'm watching them now, like fully. I'm sorry, we're watching them now. And I feel like it's a good thing as well. I feel like they want to interact. I know they can hover. I know they got capabilities, so if they want to land directly on this cigarette butt, which has not been smoked, it's a clean cigarette butt, feel free to land on that stick, or at least hover on it, because it's only stuck with, like, you know, a relatively strong adhesive, but not too strong that I can't pull it off the side of the window. Like, there's your little landing bay. Feel free to hover on that and show yourself. We would love to see it. Love to see it. But at the moment we're getting all sorts of sightings of them just sort of zipping past. So maybe they don't want to press that button just yet, who knows. It's all part of the research, all part of the research. If you want to get involved, look at joining, becoming a member. If you've got Discord as well, or if you want to download Discord, you can find the link by pressing more on any of the videos, and you will find it's just discord.com. You can register, create an account for free. Once you've got a username, you can send that to me and I can add you to the Discord server, which is full of evidence from around the world. It's all downloadable, pictures and videos. You'll have direct contact with myself, Karen, the one that I've just interviewed, that I've been releasing gradually. Robert Custodian Files in there, John at Latchkey Hustle's in there. We're just waiting for more interaction from people, and then we can literally start taking all the research. We want as many researchers as possible. That's what I'm calling for anyway. As many researchers as possible to get involved, get under one roof. Really separate the serious researchers from the trolls. That's the idea. And we're going to try and roll some incentives during the year, roll some UFO hunts, and collectively do this, you know, collectively do this. I can't do it on my own, that's for sure. Definitely need the people behind me, and I'm doing this to support Robert Custodian File, who has been doing this now it's on its 8th year, and you know, it's being heard by some people, not the majority. Like I say, I'm highlighting the issues that we have on YouTube and other content creators that dismiss this, and to be honest, it makes it very hard for the truth to get out there, and that's the fight, you know. Like, if this was taken seriously, it would have been taken seriously 7 years ago. Scientists would have looked at it, it would have been on the news, we would have had answers. I'm not going to do this for 7 years, guys, just record with everyone still pondering. I love the fact that Robert's put in all the time and effort, and he should not stop until this is resolved. I'm just going to give him a helping hand, you know, that's the key. That's the plan. Yeah, we've had quite a few fast movers go right through. I'm just looking out, honestly, I'm just looking out for the real big objects now. And we will get, on the odd occasion, we will get it as well. It's going to be good stuff. Yep. I did indeed, Tony. Not only that, by vibrations as well. So not just the radio waves, vibrations, which carry, it's probably the trigger. That's probably why radio waves can do it, because they carry certain vibration. But you can get those vibrations without using radio waves, essentially. I guess it's considered the same thing, but Whoa, fast movers. There we go. That was a few birds, but we definitely had something leave from top to bottom before those two went past. Yeah, it's time. Having a bit of time on your side definitely helps researchers, you know. I don't think I can keep this up for too long without having to get a part-time job somewhere. So, well, I'm just going to try and split it and try and put the research first, but obviously got to do my duty still. So it doesn't mean I'm going to live a very lavish life. Let's just put it that way. But hopefully the research comes in use and it's worth it in the end, you know. It's worth it in the end, even if it doesn't pay off, like literally pay off. What is going on there? That object just disappeared. Right. That object just disappeared behind the building as it did that crazy manoeuvre. Appears from behind the building. Whoa, it's like, what? The news is nonsense, exactly, because they don't show the real stuff. It wouldn't be nonsense if they would show the real stuff. And it won't be on the news unless government want to disclose, and then they'll say, like, we've got to put this on the news, this is how we're going to say it, yeah. Like I say, I'm already past that. A lot of people are. We're on to capabilities now, right? We're not really. A lot of us are just past it. The point of, are they real? You know. Honestly, like, I've just witnessed an object come in from behind the house, pop up, and then dip back behind that house extremely fast. It's like, oh crap, they're filming. You know, it's like a hesitant move. It's the only way I can describe it. Yeah, I've just literally gone back, Rain, and did a slowed down frame by frame, and yeah, it come from behind the roof, nipped over towards the chimney and went back over the roof really fast. And that roof is a good 300, 250 yards away. So I'm not even going to see a fly, and a bird isn't going to move like that. Do you know what I mean? It was right above the stick. It come out from like the end of the where the cigarette butt is, but behind the building, and then that. The speed was just incredible. Yeah, there is. There is. It just goes to show you, like, if you're near where they're coming out, like where they're launching off from and coming back, you don't need the blue sky, because they'll be way below sky level, which means if they're coming in as black objects, we'll see them against the white sky, which is fine, isn't it? It's working out pretty good so far. I'm glad you guys are loving the research as well and joining me here, because it just means you're curious enough and you see what I'm trying to do here, so it's great. Yeah, I see where it came from as well, Rain. It's if we're talking about the same one, it was just fast, but it did a bit of a manoeuvre, a little bit of a dance there. So I'm watching this on a 32-inch TV. Obviously, I'm not watching in full screen mode because I want to see the chat. But if you're on a bigger screen watching this, you see a hell of a lot more than you would on a phone, by the way. And I need to make that point. Please, like, if you've got a smart TV, stick YouTube up and find the live feed and come back and watch. Yeah, perfect. You're seeing everything I'm seeing and more than, Rain, yeah? That's brilliant. They do, we do, yeah, our eyeballs aren't great. Yeah, well, I think that I take into account everything, and the fact that the subject is now so, in the media, so to speak, and across social media, like you wouldn't believe now, compared to where we were sort of 10 years ago. The fact they even talk about it in Congress when since people just wouldn't dare before, people are coming forward, I guess, whether it be planned or whether that's just happening because that's what's happening. Something's happening, right? And it all leads towards this is real. So when I take that into consideration, the fact that I'm even allowed to have a channel on YouTube and publicise this stuff, and we can prove it as well. Eventually, it's going to come out. So yeah, I mean, when they're there, which is why I'm doing so much filming now as well. Like when you're capturing UAP, film as much as you can because you don't know when they're going to leave and come back, or if they're going to come back, or the reason for them being there. And in Wales, like when the guy was doing when Kit was recording and whatnot, he was filming stuff that was incredible. I mean, what the hell is going on my screen right now? I've just got to go. Sorry, I've just got to go back. Like, did we just have a little dance off then of dragons? Like, these things are moving incredibly fast. They're not close to the lens because you can see what close to the lens looks like, right? Did they just have a dance off? Loads of them just erupted out of this bush or to the bush. And these things are coming out from behind the bush at 400 yards away from my camera. And I think I get a closer shot of one. Yes, I do. And yes, it's a hockey puck. Little blighter. As I was talking about this just went off the hook. Those things are that far away. Point of reference is there, and they're moving like fast. Again, like for anyone that's just like, oh, they're bugs. That people want point of reference. That's what they ask for. Given point of reference. All right, then what? you know, what else do they want apart from one landing on a dinner plate? It's bonkers, isn't it? It's bonkers. do me a favour, guys. Share this live feed, right? Share this live feed on your social medias, and make the title UAP with point of reference live right now in the UK. Okay, see how many people join and start trolling because they still don't believe. And I'll happily do it for a test, you know, and I'll take all the brunt because that's what I do, and I don't care. You know, it is what it is. Facts are facts. Please share, get them in here, get all the bug lovers in here. I'll zoom out. I'll show them my little setup there. Yeah, I could do it via OBS, but the problem with doing it via OBS is I'd have to link my phone camera to OBS, and I haven't worked that out yet. I'm sure I can do it, but I haven't worked it out yet. And then I can add like my second camera to OBS as well. Do you know what? I'll see if I can somehow. I just haven't tried, to be honest with you. I've just used the webcam for my videos and my phone for my outside recording because it's just a better camera than the webcam. But at the moment, I'm contending with a 4G router and memory. So, like I say, my situation isn't where it could be. If someone like, if I was in a different position, I would have a better setup. I'd be in a different location. You know, wouldn't actually. Would I be in a different location? I don't know. I'd definitely have one up here going live, and then I would have one down there. I think I'd have a few tripods set up, and it would be radio detector on. You know, let's go. Yes, again, there'll be a delay on the phone. 42-second delay between the phone and the TV, yeah. Yeah, just where the live feed might lag or something, just make sure you're buffered right up to the nearest live moment, which I think it should be 3 seconds before the feed is actually live. That's what you should be on. If you make sure the red line is pushed all the way up to the right hand side there. Another fast mover. Honestly, like, they're out there. These guys are really out there. And the sheer amount of captures we're getting just from my window, it's like a whole week's worth of evidence crammed into a live feed, you know? Interesting. Like I say, I'll play around a little bit and I'll see if I can, you know, make this work and be a bit better so that I'm on camera as well and can show you guys the reaction that I'm giving to what's being seen here. And eventually we'll have 2 cameras out and get more people involved. Like I say, if you're in the Discord, we could even have 4 cameras go in there in different locations, all live at the same time, or even 7 cameras, and I could just click between whichever camera I want to watch at the time and just go live on the channel. So we can work this out, guys. We can work this out and make this an online UFO hunt, or we can do it in person. I think the online UFO hunts would be cool, right? If we've got camera footage in Texas, say, and then one over in Marina Del Rey, and then we've got a couple in the UK, and we can just literally, from the Discord, I can go live on the channel, record everything I'm seeing on my screen, and just click between each of your cameras. It'd be brilliant. It really would. Because Tony, they aren't my trees, buddy. Those trees are 400 yards away, mate. I couldn't cast my rod 150 yards away. So they're quite far away, mate. They're not my trees. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And it's about memory as well. Like if you want to like record something for half a day, that's a large file, and then you've got to store that file somewhere. So it's about memory. And I know people are like bust out the 4K camera and the 90 frames per second and all that, but the more detail you get, the larger the file, the more memory it requires. And that all comes with a pound sign, you know. But things like balloons, cheap drones we can use, stuff like just putting a cigarette butt on a stick. All these things are cheap. We can do these things. Everyone can record, join Discord, and it's cheap to do, right? Bit of time taken. You don't need to analyse this stuff. No, been analysing it for a long time without scanning software. But if we're talking about development, yeah, they need to develop cameras and the software to handle this stuff. Yeah, I mean, we're all learning, aren't we? When I started the channel, I'd never edited a video once in my life. And I don't like being on camera. I'm not really a big fan. I'm not vain at all. I don't like showing myself, and I don't like a lot of attention. I don't. But I like to do some of that at least for the channel every week to get this out there. So be it. You know. I don't think many people like their own voice, Rain. I'm the same, you know. But I think the ones that really do like their own voice just have too much to say and they don't listen enough. You know, it's an imbalance, but it's the world needs a bit of everything. That's ultimately where we're at. I don't moan about it too much. I do what I can, you know. And I do say this. I say this openly. I want people to do what I'm doing, but just do a better job. Because I'm not an entertainer by any means. Like I'm not. I'm too curious to know what this is to start making it a fun topic. Like I'm excited. I'm really excited that these things are real, and I'm really excited that I feel like we're going to get communication soon. Like the government 100% cracked all this out in the 50s, you know. But if we can't prove to them that we know these exist and we understand more than they think we do, then we'll never get answers. Because if they're keeping this big secret, you know, this is when we can push back, essentially. But we need to have the evidence, we need to have the numbers, we need to have the critical thinkers doing the work, because they ain't going to do it. It is. I know. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Richard. It's not. It's not an easy thing to do. And the thing is, you want to have your say documented so that one day it may be useful to someone, right? Um, you've got to do it, even if you're not getting loads of watches. You just got to put it out there. Yeah, it could be some factions or some arguments to be had up in the skies, because I don't think it's one being or one team up there. There's several different. I think. Oh, what we got here, bird? What? Okay. That to me just looked like a bird, and because it was just dipping up and down like a bird. Oh, clear wings there. Okay. Just the way it dipped down, it just disappeared, but it didn't. It didn't just disappear. It did go behind the tree. Yeah. It did look like it was just hopping up and down in the sky, didn't it? But that's what some of these smaller birds do, the sparrows and that. They sort of have that movement to them, don't they? But it's just the way it disappeared. I was like, hey. Oh yeah, they're definitely factions. It's just like a whoa. Well, these things are just on the move now. That's too fast though, isn't it? That object then that just moved off, that was too quick. I wonder if they leave here to go tag the planes, which are like, look, what's going on there? I wonder if they leave, like I say, this area to go tag the planes and everything else they want to recon, and then just come back. And that's what they're just doing all day, just boom, 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 back and forth. And they only show up as often as we see them because there's something flying around 5 miles away or something. I'm not seeing the plane, do you know what I mean, or whatever. Yeah, I feel like they go out, they do their recon and their business, and they stop off at the nearest, you could say, hiding place that they have there, which whether it be underground or whatever, and then when they go and recon again, if they're reconning something in this direction, you just see them coming back, and you just suddenly see them diving back into this bush or behind these trees. Do you see what I mean? Because when they turn up, they tend to turn up in numbers, and then it's quiet. Like right now, there's nothing, right? And then next thing you know, they just turn up. Does make me wonder. Question is now, are we going to get a close-up of a UAP between what I call the hot zone, 1 and 2 o'clock, which is right now? Are we going to capture? Well, do you know what? I'm going to jinx it, so keep watching. I'm going to quickly go and grab some food out of the kitchen because I'm starving, or just put something on at least so I can set myself up. And they normally show up when I bugger off, okay? So I won't be long, but just let me know if you see anything in the chat, and I'll go back to it and analyse it if it's there. Otherwise, I'll be back in like 1 minute. I'm back in the room. Any joy? Any close calls, Rain? Righto. Oh, hello. Hello. Another small zipper. I mean, that was just... Ah, oh, I'm pressing the wrong button there. Yeah, really fast. Just they're launching out differently today than they were yesterday. They were going right across the screen yesterday. Today they're coming more. They're coming out of behind that bush and they're moving quick. You know, the house and the trees in front, they're moving quite fast. Yeah, roof line. And they are really zipping out, like, well, it's the speed I would expect to see from these things, you know. I did watch The Code. I have to just double check now and make sure it's the one I'm thinking. Yes. Oh, The Code or Alien Code? Because Alien Code is worth a watch as well, by the way, folks. It's on YouTube. Alien Code. Really well thought out. If it's the same film we're talking about. Yeah, great theory behind what the deeper part of what might be going on as opposed to these dragons. Not right now, Rain. We're dragon hunting right now. No, I'm joking. It's a good watch. It's a good watch. Oh, there's one. Not getting anything close to the lens today, or any big objects at the moment. But we're getting a lot of fast movers. They're out there in numbers. That's all right. No drama. Oh, it's definitely got to be one of them things to watch, Rain. It's one I stuck on late at night and just watched it, and it was a good one. A little bit freaky, but you know. We've got about half an hour left in us to try and pick out a UAP close up. We've had quite a few really fast moving objects coming from them trees, which, like I keep saying, they're about 400 yards away, three to 400, and they're just coming out of there way too fast. There you go, same thing again. Yeah, chimney on the right hand side, bang on. Yeah, this is what we're seeing all the time. No chance. I wouldn't even. I know I'm zoomed in, but at that distance, I would struggle to see a bug. But when it's going behind the building, I know it's that far away. I don't think a bug would look that big in the sky from this far away. I just got up to have another look, just to double check, and if I'm being light on the distance, that building is going to be about between 250 and 350. The trees behind that, so the trees situated behind that building, would push it up to 350 to 400. You know? So that's where I'm at on the measurements. The bug shouters won't even take notice, mate. They'll just go, oh look, they're just bugs, whatever. That's all they'll say. You know, there's a term that YouTubers actually use, and it's I probably shouldn't say this, but screw it. They use doomy thumbnails and doomy content to draw people in, and they call it the doomers. You know, they want the doomers, and I'm always told, aim for the doomers, aim for the doomers, but I just can't bring myself to put fake crap up on. I just can't. I wouldn't sleep well at night. That's just me, but. My passion would go right down for this if I had to just show scary content that didn't actually have any relevance to the truth, or the passion would go completely. We've all been a victim of it, Baz. I sometimes click on stuff because, again, not mentioning any channels, but last night he said this is one for the researchers. Kind of like what I did the other day, so he's obviously picked up on my videos. And then he started the video with, look, it's Sunday, I don't care if this is CGI or fake. And I was just like, well, the clickbait title says different to what you said straight away, mate, you know, like. And I just didn't watch it, didn't even bother watching, because there's no context, there's no, this was recorded by so and so, it was done on this phone at this time, you know, he's been recording all week, this is what he's captured the last few days, none of that. I mean, you could say I'm an alarmist, because I want people to realise these things are flying outside their house. It's quite alarming, but I'm not gonna start throwing thumbnails out there to attract people in. I just want people to take it in critically, that's all. Everyone likes a doomy story, right? What's that lady on the BBC who has a really dull voice and she talks about every tragedy like this? You know, I call her Mrs. Doom. I call her Miss Doom because she's just so like this, and the way she presents the news and talks about everyone dying, it's just the doomiest day in our history every day, you know? And it's all just to get people drawn in, and it's just like, the brainwash, you know, it's all there. Can't stand it, I really can't stand it. Well, YouTube does, yeah, and that's part of the problem. But also, people do choose to watch it. Like, YouTube doesn't suddenly turn up on their TV screens and then they choose. They're made to watch this stuff. They choose to turn in. So when you see channels doing like 100k views in 2 days because they've put out some really doomy content, it's because people like watching that stuff. They're entertained, and there's nothing wrong with being entertained. But the same people just watch entertainment after entertainment after entertainment, and they don't do any critical research, and they kind of stick and they kind of wish and hope that the military and government are one day going to tell them the truth, and just play straight into the hands of like Greer and Lou Elizondo. And I'm not saying these people don't know anything about this topic. Christ, they know a lot, but they're milking it as well, you know. And I only mention what I mentioned because at the end of the day, they are the popular people that talk about this subject and bring some truth to the light, and I respect it. But the reason why a lot of the big podcasters, the big YouTubers, talk about these people all the time and don't look at anything else is because that's where the money is. The moment the government say these UAP are real, they come in all shapes and sizes and they travel at 2,000 miles an hour, then people will look at my channel and custodian files, and it will go up to like 30k views a video. But until then, people just follow what the news wants them to follow. You know, that's it. They'll stick an article on News Nation, people will follow it. They'll show the same objects that we're showing, but they'll show still shots instead, and people will go, "Oh, look at that saucer." No, it's an object that they've zoomed in on and taken a still shot of, and it's exactly the same as what we're showing. Exactly, except it's chasing a military plane or it's being recorded by a military plane over the sea. But it's the same thing. I thought maybe, Rain, if I said the right things and showed the right things, other content creators that were already out there and have platforms would actually go, you know what, we need to show this to the world. Yeah, no worries. Sort your contractor out. Don't let him wait. He's probably charging by the minute. It has, man. You know, they control it. You know, 1 minute it's whistleblowers, and then it's psionics. They control which direction they want it to go in, quite easily. The one thing they tried to hide really well, see you, Rain. The one thing they tried to hide really well was the mummies in Peru. They really tried to hide that information, and they didn't play too much about it. You know, I think they did 1 or 2 stories on it because they had to, but it wasn't the right time. You know, pretty soon I'm fairly sure this stuff will be hitting mainstream when they want it all out, when it's time, when they've got no choice. They'll make it mainstream. Yeah, and they want to see what the panic looks like as well. That'll be an experience in itself when people suddenly are made aware. It'll be interesting. We're just getting these objects time and time again coming up from this tree line here, and that's crazy. I've just captured an object coming out from that tree line at the back behind the house, come right up to the top of the screen really fast, and it moves really fast and then just hovers for a moment and then just dips out of the line of sight. Incredible that it can move and just suddenly stop like that and just hover. You know, we're being watched. I'm watching them, they're watching us. I think this is what's happening right now. They're probably looking at me going, "Look at this guy! Look! Oh my God!" As I said it, they're probably looking at me right now going, "Look at this guy filming right in our direction with a cigarette back there." You probably think I've lost it. Another one. Come on, let's get a close up. 20 more minutes to go. Yeah, there's plenty out there. Plenty. We've captured so many already. I just want to see one close up and get a point of reference with my well-placed stick and cigarette butt. They're zipping right past that building, man. Right over us. They're no longer going sideways across. They're going up vertically today. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone thought it was real, went into a panic, and it was just the first story, you could say, acted out story told on, over a live broadcast. But to everyone that didn't know that, and of course no one knew that, it was real, right? Or was it? Maybe it was all done, and then they got told to hush up and got told, look, just say it was a movie. Exactly. I'm more worried about us as a race, what the humans are capable of, because these things obviously have loads. Agree, Tony. Agree, and not all of them are really strong. Like some of them don't use their legs to even walk. So why would they try and approach a human being? It would be a bit like a human being approaching an ape in the wild. Like a big silverback gorilla could tear us apart if we got in its way. So we choose not to. And I'm pretty sure the aliens do the same thing. The ETs, they're just like, look, we can interact from a distance. We don't need to go up close and personal, because if one did freak out, anything could happen. We're vicious creatures at the end of the day. If we wanted to, we could do some serious damage to each other. Well, we do, don't we? As a race. Yeah. And the thing is, they could probably save a lot of people. My question is, why hasn't it been happening? And that would get down to the control. The control aspect, the freedom that we think we have that we don't. Because obviously the ETs aren't free to operate and do what they want with us, because we're clearly being controlled by something, right? I don't think they can stop too long and have a chat, because they're at risk of being shot down, maybe. If they take that chance. Yeah. Everything's about defense, isn't it? And threat. I mean, it is and it isn't. I mean, our actions will always speak louder than words. You know? But also, it could be completely out of our hands as well. Like the earth that we sit on could dictate what happens to, well, it does, doesn't it, really? The earth dictates what happens to us as a civilization. And if the earth goes through a change, we must go through the same change. And I think that's what's happening. I think the earth is about to go through a change, and therefore we must. I think that's the bottom line. As crazy as it all sounds. It is in forgotten history, my man. Look at this. Look at these things. Surely that's too fast. You know, they're moving towards us as well, so we're not getting this speed going across the screen. Did I miss something, Jay? Nice, nice to see what you've put on the website there. Yeah. 4,500-year-old NASCAR mummies, mate. What more do they need? You know? What more do they need from us? From the people of the world? The evidence is just overwhelming. Skywatcher. Oh, it's a decent channel. Is that the one with the time lapse of the sky, yeah? Cheers, pal. Take care, mate. Um, yeah, Skywatcher. I think it's cool. I just think the sky's moving too fast to appreciate the moments that he's capturing. But I can see why he's had to speed it up, because you'll be there forever, right? So yeah, I mean it's cool. I like it. It's good quality. Again, it's white objects against brighter objects against dimmer objects. It's, you know. Synchronicity, mate, synchronicity. 1,800-year-old. Some of them been dated back a bit older than that, man. Yeah, combination, tridactyl. The clothing would interest me as well. You know, some of the stuff they were wearing at the time, and because you know the ETs are always perceived as naked beings when they're put on TV, but they won't be naked. You know. Yeah. They all, look, since the psionics thing's come about, everyone's going to summon a UAP. Everyone's going to try and do it, you know, and that's good. But you've got to just call the bullshitters out, that's all. The ones that are summoning UAP, that are appearing miles away from where they actually are, you know. They should be appearing above your head. Do it at night time, get a laser pointer, you'll be able to interact with them and visually do it. During the day, you can just get your helicopter out, your RC helicopter or a drone or something, fly it up and hover, record that sucker, and you'll get, or just do what I'm doing, just film out the window, experiment a little bit, and you'll capture. Hello, Zelina. Good morning. Glad you're joining us from California. California. Awesome stuff. Get your camera out, Tony. Get your camera out, mate. So for anyone that's just tuned in, I have stuck a stick. I've stuck a cigarette butt on the end of a stick, and I've stuck that stick on the end of my window, okay folks? So if you are wondering what's going on, that is the closest point in which a fly-sized object can get to my lens. So I'm just looking for anything that does fly past, and if it does get that close to my window and it's that big, I'll hear the wings, I'll hear it go past like I normally would do. The reason why I'm doing this is because yesterday I caught objects which looked about this size, probably just a bit smaller, and I don't think they were anywhere near my window. I think they was about midway between where the camera is and where the trees are at the back there, which is approximately 350 yards away in my opinion. So I feel like these things were further away from the camera, and yet they're going to look larger than what I would consider a bug-sized object close to the lens in this scenario. So this is why I'm doing it. We've had loads of UAP shooting across the sky, loads of UAP shooting from behind the tree line in the house there, which is, again, the house is about 250 to 300 yards. And when we're seeing objects just zip over that tree line and over that house at incredible speed, we know what they are. The issue is, well, it's not really an issue. Today they're not going from left to right or right to left as much. They're kind of coming towards the camera and going above my building, and then when they return, we can see them returning back over this tree line. So it's been quiet for the last couple of minutes, but we are, every now and then we're picking them up, like they're just leaving, doing their recon and coming back, and it's happening sporadically, just randomly. We've also had another video coming from Ben over in Cornwall, where he's been filming yet again, and I've not shown it, but I will do hopefully tonight. And yeah, do you know what? We'll see. We'll see what happens in the next few hours. I'll try to get a video done for tonight. But yeah, what he's done previously, he's thrown a frisbee into the air 3 times now, and on 3 occasions a UAP has gone right through the middle of the frisbee. Okay. Today he sends me a video, and he's thrown a roll of masking tape, not masking tape. What's the other one? Duct tape. I think it's duct tape. So it's got a smaller circumference in the middle, a smaller hole, and he's thrown that into the air, and an object has come up with the masking tape, come up together, gone slightly higher than the masking tape, and then dived right through the middle of it. It's incredible. And this is a tiny object, okay? You would not see a fly attempt this. And he's done it 4 times now. 3 with a frisbee, and now 1 with some gaffer tape or something. It's incredible. Incredible stuff, and that's why the small objects cannot be dismissed. They just cannot be dismissed. And this thing was on its own, moved incredibly fast, seemingly just playing with Ben. It's just mad. Awesome stuff. We've not quite had the close-up I was looking for today, so maybe this week. I don't know when the next sunny day is coming up. Mind you, sun's trying to penetrate now. It's just clouds are just a little bit grey, but there's another one. Zips right over the tree there. Fast as you like. Just looks like a really faint bug. They just don't move like that. Bugs just don't move like that. Like I say, this is a great distance away. Yeah, I'm zoomed in, but oh, have you now, Tony? Yeah, we haven't quite. It's trying to break through, but the clouds are just doing their job at the moment. Right, we'll keep it going another 4 minutes, folks, and then I'm going to give it a stop. I'll try and get a video done for this evening. I've got so much to show, and the stuff just keeps stacking up. But it's going to be an interesting week. I've got so much to do, and we're going to have part 3 of Karen's interview at some point this week. I'll probably wait till Friday night, just to give everyone time to watch the second part. And whoa. I was watching that bird at the top there, what I thought was a bird. It was just blinking, wasn't it? And then a UAP comes right underneath, which means that could have been something else. I'm just gonna keep filming. I said I'd keep going another couple of minutes, but that was interesting. Thanks, Selena. It'd be nice to know, wouldn't it? We try to figure it out. That's the goal. Whoa, here we go. Another one get past there. I think we're going to have something happen out of this window at some point. We're going to capture something really good. And I think I might have to get into that field as well and film towards the flat and just see if I can capture anything from there. The only thing is I won't have my big screen there and there to analyse it, but it will be worth a go. It's gone quiet again. Right, one more minute then, and then I'll call it a day. Thanks for tuning in and stuff, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Obviously, look back through the video. I've done several live streams now for over the last few days. It's all raw. This is the first one I've done with a cigarette butt with a stick attached. Thanks, Zen. I appreciate you, and yeah, the conversations have been great. We're expanding our minds here and trying to get some good ideas out there. I think it's only a matter of time, isn't it, before we find just the trick to pick these things out. Another object right at the top there that just zipped past. Oh, another one. Wow. Wow. See what I mean? That how these things are just leaving that top tree line there and then darting off to the right and left. They're definitely out there doing a morning shift or an afternoon shift now. Another one, boom, straight out from that field. Can't understand it, you know. Right, I'm going to just leave it there because we could be here all day. I'm fascinated watching this, and I'll keep the stick there for the next time. I'll take it off now, but I'll put it back up on the next one, and yeah, hopefully we'll get that close-up shot that we were after, same as yesterday, and try and get a point of reference there. But thanks a lot all, take care, all the best, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye bye for now.